Good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone. Today it's a little bit different. I'm doing the live from my phone, so hang in there. Hang in there if you see me touching the screen because I'm trying to figure it out as we go. Today it is Friday, December 11th, 2020. We are live with Gabi Natale from the closet, which now today is my living room. I hope you're doing great. I hope you're ready for the weekend. As we always say, these are your 10 minutes for you to recalibrate your energy, to set your intention, to start the day with the right food, and to start the weekend. Why not the weekend with the right food? And we are simulcasting with different platforms. So hello to everybody on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Twitch. I think we have everybody on LinkedIn. I think we have everybody covered. So good morning. How are you this morning? ¿Cómo están esta mañana? Liliana Ospina, buenos días. Good morning. How's it going? What plans do you have for the weekend, people? I was thinking about this holiday season, which is going to be different. Probably the groups are going to be smaller. Probably we're not going to get together, or many more people are not going to get together with their extended family. And in regular times, we always complain about, sometimes having to meet or having to spend time with people we don't want to spend time. So, like, these holidays is going to be a perfect experiment for so many people to know if they have a better time doing like the small meeting with the immediate family, or if they want to go back, next year to getting together with everyone. We have Aravind Cámara Jugada. Good morning, Gabi. Good morning, Aravind. How are you? Where are you tuning us from, Aravind? So let me tell you about today's topic. Today's topic is based on a sentence, on a quote that I really like from no less than, it was coined by no less than Judge Judy. And she says, beauty fades, but damp is forever, which I love the sentence, but I changed it a little bit. And it says, beauty fades, but damp and mean are forever. Identifying toxic people in your world, because we are approaching the holiday season, and also we always have these dynamics. And at the end of the year, sometimes we think about priorities in our lives and what we want for our future, what kind of projects, what kind of people. So I thought it was a good idea to talk today about identifying toxic people in our lives. And I use this sentence by Judge Judy: beauty fades, but damp is forever. Damp and mean are forever. Aravindi say, I am good, Gabi. Hope you're doing well. And he's tuning in from Palo Alto, California. Beautiful Palo Alto. Hello. So without further ado, we are going to start our opening credits like every day. Today we start like this, live with Gabi Natale, like every morning, 9 a.m. Central Time. We start with our opening credits like this. There has never been a better time to be a pioneer than right now. Diversity is beautiful. Thank you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You were seeing my husband running in the background. In the stairs. I told him I'm gonna do the live. He's upstairs. He was, there's potential for drama. I haven't seen it because he was cutting his own hair with the clippers, and he was not that happy with the final result. So I'm gonna see how that hair cutting business went in a little bit. So, good morning to everyone. This is your moment to recalibrate your energy, set the tone for your day, set your intention, and start the day with the right food. Today, we are talking about how to identify toxic people in our world. And I am stealing this marvelous, marvelous quote by no less than Judge Judy, she coined the sentence, the phrase, beauty fades, but damp is forever. I'm changing it, but to beauty fades, but damp and mean-spirited people. To be mean-spirited, I don't know if you can change that. That is forever. So today we're going to talk about how to identify toxic people in your life. And feel free to comment and let us know if you have your own techniques or if you have identified different people like this in your own lives. Catalina is joining. Catalina, good morning. How are you doing? Tell us about toxic people in your own life. How do you identify it? How do you deal with it? So let's go with the first one. Toxic people, number one, when you're starting a journey, when you have a dream, when you share with somebody, I feel dreams are something that is so sacred. Sometimes we don't even want to say them out loud. That's how precious our dreams are. And when you finally share it with somebody in your environment, somebody that surrounds you, somebody in your group of friends or in your family, in your office, wherever you are, you're always, in your class, if you're a student, you're always going to find someone that is going to make fun of it, that is going to ridicule your dream, your goal, or your aspiration. So that, I think, it's a clear sign that somebody is not wanting the best for you, because sometimes you have people that they tell you their dreams, they tell you their goals. Sometimes you may feel that, well, maybe this is not as aligned, or maybe this person is not building on their strengths, or you don't understand what that dream is about, you know. But here's the thing. One thing is that you do not understand, or one thing is that you don't see clearly that dream for that person or that goal for that person. But if you are somebody who still wants the very best for that person, you would never ridicule that goal. You would never ridicule that dream. The fact that somebody is making fun, the fact that somebody is ridiculing something that for you is so sacred as a dream, the fact that somebody is ridicules something that is so special to you as a goal, as a dream, as an aspiration, something that sometimes we are even scared to say it out loud because it's so precious for us, that is a sign, a very clear sign that this person does not want the best for you, that this person is probably a toxic person. So protect yourself. If you share a dream, you maybe wanted to I don't know, maybe wanted to study something new, maybe wanted to open a business, or maybe you wanted to, before the pandemic, to travel far, to learn a new language, to whatever you wanted to do, and you have somebody who is deliberately sabotaging, deliberately ridiculing that dream, that is a red flag. Please pay attention, because that is a sign that this person may not have the best interest for you. So that's one of the ways of identifying it. Now, the second one, when you start doing things, this was in the beginning, when you share your dream and some people are ridiculing it. Some people are making fun of it. This is in the next step. Let's say you started something. Let's say you are already fighting for that dream. Let's say you are already having your first achievements in that journey that you chose, and you come across people who ignore or specifically undermine those achievements. And that is a very typical dynamic of what we call frenemies. It's people that in the surface pretend, or they try to present themselves as somebody who is genuinely happy about your achievements. But on the end, when you start seeing the different layers, they might not be as happy, or they might be really jealous, or they might have a lot of envy. I remember I used to have somebody in my close group of friends that, when I started my journey and I started having my first achievements, she was always in the surface, um, expressing how happy she was. But then there was a second layer where she would ask questions that would kind of undermine or try to undermine my achievements. Let's say I was very young in my early 20s and I had my first business trip. Imagine, it's the first time you're traveling for business. It's a huge deal for anyone who is having a first job. The first time somebody's paying you to do something in a business trip. The first time somebody's paying for your airfare, for a hotel, to go for a conference, the very first time you're doing something out of your city. And I remember I was so happy. And this person, she said, fantastic, this is excellent, Gabby, congratulations. And then comes the question that reveals that you are a toxic person, which was, are they flying you coach or are they flying you first class? This was my first job in my early 20s. Imagine, there was zero chance they were flying me first class, and she knew about it. But it was a subtle way of undermining my happiness, a subtle way of undermining my achievement. And then sometimes you feel like, oh, they didn't mean it. They didn't feel like doing it. It was an accident, because that's the first thing that you do. You try in your mind, or at least if you're like me, you think that everybody is wonderful. You feel like you think that everybody is a good person. You cannot elaborate that somebody is going to deliberately ask you something to make you feel bad or worse about your achievement. But then I started to notice a pattern, because I had another experience, and that was the first time there was a little article, an article in English about my work. And so it was the first article that was published. And so I shared it, and I shared it in social media, and I was so happy and I was so proud. And this same person, the same person that who asked me if I had flown coach or first class for my first business trip, what did she ask when I showed her the news? Congratulations! This news about your work, it's beautiful. But you know what? The grammar of the journalist was not that great. He made a lot of mistakes in that article. And I was like, damn, this is a pattern. I'm starting to see a pattern on somebody who should genuinely be so happy about the good things that I didn't steal these achievements from anybody else. I didn't do any crime to have them. I worked so hard, and you are somebody who calls herself my friend, but at the same time, you are going through all this work to undermine this achievement. So if you have somebody in your environment that has a pattern, because I always give people the benefit of the doubt, but if you have somebody that has a pattern of doing this kind of commentaries, this kind of questions that will undermine your goals, your achievements, things that you genuinely and fairly want, pay attention, because that's a very toxic environment. I'm going to start reading some of your comments. Let me see. Catalina is saying that her husband cuts her own hair too. Yes, we're all experimenting. Liliana is saying sometimes it's hard to identify people like that. Most of these people pretend to be the nicest. Exactly. That's why sometimes we are confused, because the packaging is beautiful. The way they are saying it is with a smile. The way they are expressing is with with a smile in their face, but then they are sabotaging you. And she's saying, but they are the meanest, always trying to sabotage you. Absolutely. And I'm kind of naive when those things happen. So it takes me a while. I might not get it right the first time, but then the second or the third, I'm paying attention. Then LinkedIn user, buenos días, buenos días. Let me see. I'm reading you, Robert Rodriguez. Insight, Gabby, keep it up. Robert, thank you very much. Theo saying good morning from Sinaloa. Caroline Roldan says, wow, jealousy. Yes, absolutely, from Facebook. Manuel Caballero, wow, muy cierto. LinkedIn user says, Gabby, I think I met you through that article and started following you and supporting your work. So mind about people and attract with your professionalism and good vibes, and don't mind those who does not support you. Absolutely. Catalina, when that happens, uh, and more with relatives. Relatives are the one that try to make your dreams or achievements are not good, or you are not good enough. I try not to talk to that person often. Absolutely protect your energy. Good for you. So let's go back, and I'm reading you. Keep leaving your comments if this resonates with you, or if you have some kind of special technique, of special way of dealing with these situations we all go through. So the third one, toxic people, number 3. These are the people that they twist what you say and always assume the worst from your actions. So if you are somebody who wants to help, hey, who do you think you are? Do you think you are our savior? Who do you think you are if you're trying to help? Um, and then if you don't get involved, they blame you because they say, hey, why didn't you get involved? It's like you can never win with these people. They are always assuming the worst from your words. They are always assuming the worst from your actions. So if you have somebody in your life and it doesn't matter what you do, you're always losing. It doesn't matter what you do, you're always wrong. If you're helping, who do you think you are? You believe you're the savior. If you're not helping, you're not getting involved. This is people who really, the main thing that they are connecting with is not your words, is not their action. There's some people who have a way to relating to others, and that way that is very toxic of relating to others is through conflict. So these people are relating to others, and it doesn't matter what you do, they are going to find this conflict as a way. It's a mistaken way, but it's the way they have. The only way sometimes they learn what growing up, or the only way they have to express their feelings. So the way of relating to you and to other people is through conflict. And when you try to make these people happy, you're always going to find you're falling short. And you're falling short not necessarily because you did something wrong. It's not necessarily because there was a mistake. It was because their own way of receiving your words, their own way of receiving your actions is to create a bond that is created in the shape of a conflict. So whatever you do is going to be twisted. Whatever you say is going to be twisted, so that this response that you're giving, this action, this thing that you're saying fits the narrative they know. And the narrative that they know is conflict. So let me read you some of these things. Caroline sisters, 100%. They are called emotional vampires, right? OMG. So I think this is resonating today. We always have different people, and we have to protect our energy. Not everybody is doing this in purpose. Not everybody is doing this because they want to hurt you. You know how they say sometimes hurt people hurt people. Sometimes they don't even realize what they are doing, or sometimes they cannot help but doing this. But that doesn't mean you should not set boundaries. That doesn't mean you have to put up with whatever is going on. Jorge from Facebook is saying, hola amiga. Facebook Houston, good morning, beautiful girl. Caroline is saying, Gabby, I have walked away from all these people. And that's what takes us to our next one, which is a couple of things that I want to say. First of all, we always talk about toxic people as if they were always, or toxic attitudes as if they were always somebody else. But I want to ask ourselves this question. We're not perfect either. Are we, or do we have toxic attitudes towards someone else in our life? Because we have to do the inner work also. We are not perfect. We might be sometimes even without trying on the other end of this conflict. So I think it's very interesting to take a minute, make a self-criticism, and figure out, maybe you're not part of the problem, but maybe sometimes you're too tired, maybe sometimes you're having a weak moment, maybe sometimes you're going through a bad phase, and maybe sometimes, yes, we can be that person who is not as positive as it should be with the people surrounding them. We could be that people who at some point is not having the best attitude, or is not giving the others the the best response, is not being the highest self they can be. So I think it's very interesting to also take a minute and think about our own actions. And if you feel that sometimes you have some attitudes that could be improved, that you have a few words that shouldn't have been there in the middle of a fight, pick up the phone, call that person, ask for forgiveness, or say, hey, I make a mistake as well. We all make mistakes. And that is something that I wanted to talk about today. Here's the twist. We always talk about toxic people in the world as if they were always somebody else, but we all can have attitudes. It doesn't mean that you are a toxic person, but you can have some attitudes that can be sometimes labeled as mistakes or labeled as toxic. And we have to do our own inner work on that. But going back to the beginning of the topic of today, to identify toxic people in our lives, I think one of the things that you can do, the most important thing that you can do when you're pursuing your dream, when you're living your life, when you're not hurting anybody, all you're doing is moving forward and trying to do the best you can, is to honor this motto of inner voice, whatever your dream is, inner voice over outer noise. Inner voice over outer noise. You're gonna come across so much noise sometimes, so many opinions, so many things, that can throw you off guard, so many things and so many people that can throw you away from what you're looking. So focus so much on that inner voice over outer noise. Inner voice, your dreams, your desires, your highest self over outer noise. And that, I think, it's a good way to deal when you're in doubt, if you should share, if you should trust. I'm not saying that you isolate yourself, but if you know somebody does not have your best interest, it doesn't make you a bad person to set boundaries. Boundaries are so important. Now let me read some of the comments. This is it. Maybe we overthink certain scenarios and can come across as toxic by expressing concerns without intention, says LinkedIn user. I try to hold my unrequested advice at times. Yes, I am guilty of that. I sometimes give unrequested advice, and that is an invasion, because if they didn't ask you for your opinion or your advice, you're overstepping some boundaries. So I like this. Please tell me who you are, because I cannot see your name. Liliana Ospina is saying, I believe in the inner voice. Vero Queen, sweetheart. Boundaries, says Caroline. Caroline is saying, God attracts the right people in your life as you become more positive. Then toxic people separate from you like water and oil. They are living in a bad place in their minds, the way they think, and when you're moving on, they want to drag you back to the misery they are in. Okay. And then Jorge is saying, needs tips to recovery myself. Okay, I'm going to think about maybe for next week, or the week after, for the next weeks, on some tips for recovery. Boundaries, says Caroline. And then Jelitza Arostegui is my name, says LinkedIn user. Absolutely. Okay, Jelitza, thank you so much. If you approve the StreamYard platform, then that is something that you can do. Okay, so people, as I always tell you, when we finish our live every morning, and we went super over 24 minutes. Sorry about that, but I love talking to all of you. Do the most of your day, set your intention, start the day with the right food, and remember that wonderful things can happen even in difficult times. Remember also that we have to still keep seeing the world from a place of possibilities, and that when you open yourself up to the world opens itself up to you. When you open yourself up to the world opens itself up to you. Go do the best of your day and see you on Monday. Relax, recharge, enjoy, celebrate life. We're here just for a while, so let's make the most out of it. Los quiero mucho. Besitos for everyone.